One of the world's most legendary racetracks, high in the Belgian forests in the Ardennes region, Spa-Francorchamps. It's a name that inspires and strikes fear in equal measure. Since the 1930s, the world's greatest race drivers have pitted themselves against the track and its capricious weather. Roger Penske with 1,000 guests here, bringing them to sample what this legendary track can produce, and they were not alone. The fans were back in their tens of thousands, thronging the track, the grid, the pit lane, and ready for one of the world's greatest motorsporting theatres to produce the goods. Hijinks from Marco Sorensen in at Aston Martin, the 33 car, the GTE Am pole sitter.
Take you back, spitting facts, you gotta live with that. Who got it? Who won it? No problem.
Porsche, the dominant force in GTE Pro in qualifying. 91 Jimmy Bruni and Richard Leitz will lead the field. A stunning lap from Alessio Rivera put the Pro-Am leader, AF Corsa, on the LMP2 pole. And in Hypercar, for the first time ever, a US team is on pole. Glickenhaus, courtesy of Ollie Pla, the pole sitters in Spa. Proving it's not just the Americans who know about putting on a show. The green flag to wave the field away was delivered in some spectacular style. The grandstands and every inch of spectator banking packed to capacity around Spa-Francorchamps. None of them were expecting this. After 2 days of stunning weather, we are ready to go racing.
Start of the formation lap. Start of the formation lap. We have started the formation lap for the 6 hours of Spa.
Teams, drivers, fans. This is what they've come for. For the first time, a field is led away by an American team. Olivier Pla in the red and white Glickenhaus, but Andre Negrão goes out wide. He's going to try and sweep around the outside at the hairpin at La Source. Runs out of room, the new gravel trap, and look at that! Kevin Estre dive bombs his teammate Jimmy Bruni to take the lead, but there's contact. The two Porsches touch, the Ferraris might come out ahead on the very first run down into Eau Rouge. Glickenhaus leads, the Toyota already up to second place. That's car number 8, Sebastian Buemi. Well, look at the Toyotas on row 2 of the grid, then the LMP2 field. Olivier Plat pacing it as they get to the second white line. That's the start line. Away they go. The Toyota's looking to the inside, but Negrão is brave around the outside. Lockups behind. Negrão runs out of room, doesn't dare get in the gravel, and the chrome car, that's our LMP2 pole sitter, Alessio Rivera, he sees the main chance and dives to the inside. In GT Pro, oh, big mistake, Kevin Estre, just given enough room to survive by Jimmy Bruni, who cuts back underneath him, but as they accelerate out of La Source, there's contact, and Bruni is in trouble. Riding with Jimmy Bruni, you can see the bumps from his teammate to our right-hand side hidden, and bits of Bruni's wheel and tyre already flying off into the air. And not a comfortable start for Porsche. It's a big mistake from Kevin Estre, and into the gravel, touch from behind, I'm sure, the Iron Dames car of Christina Nielsen. Well, Nielsen stuck in the gravel, and she will need to be rescued from there. We may have a safety car on lap 1 of the 6 hours of Spa-Francorchamps. Are we going full course yellow? There is a tyre. That's got to be, it is. It's Jimmy Bruni. Well, they're going to take the opportunity to rescue the Iron Dames car. They should rejoin the race. Safety car is out. Not the start that Porsche wanted, not the start the Iron Dames team wanted.
Okay, box this lap, please, box this lap. Crew damage rear right, damage on rear right.
Oh, rear right and rear left. I don't have the tires anymore.
Yes, I'm sure Jimmy was perfectly aware of what the damage was. He's been trying to drag the car back. The good news is the tyre was no longer there, so there's nothing flailing around to damage the rest of the car. Although the pit lane is closed behind the safety car, you can come in such a situation. All they can do, though, is replace that one tyre. No fuel unless they're desperate for fuel, and of course it's lap 1 they aren't. Well, now, the crew are doing a full tyre change, and that is not legal. They're going to have to undo that. No, look, they're stopping the car.
Gentle reminder, pit entry remains closed. Pit entry remains closed.
So they're going to have to go round, take that fresh set off, except for the left rear. And that's because the pit entry is closed immediately when the safety car comes out. So, lap 1, safety car. There's Timo Bernhardt. Dozen wins on this track. Green flag once more, and away goes Olivier Plat, the poleman for Glickenhaus. The car won't go quite as far on fuel as the Toyota hybrids. Maybe 3 laps fewer here, maybe even 4 laps fewer on fuel for Glickenhaus. So their opportunity is they must run away and hide from the Toyotas. But in low drag Le Mans downforce spec, the Toyotas look mighty quick around here. GTE battle. These are the 2 cars that battle for pole position. Ben Keating was behind Paul Dall'Anna, goes around the outside to take the lead. That is a big move. The track's been resurfaced there, and there is more grip available than there used to be. Porsche changing strategy totally. Second stop of the race. This one not forced. Jimmy Bruni is in. Looks like fuel and tyres. They're working on a different plan to try and recover lost ground. Glickenhaus leading, but the Toyotas are getting closer. Sebastian Buemi, Mike Conway. View from the fabulous new grandstand overlooking the Eau Rouge section of the track is absolutely stupendous. What a big addition to the track that's been. And here in traffic, the Glickenhaus being hunted down. Sebastian Buemi, Glickenhaus can't get by. Olivier Plat stuck behind the GT Pro Porsche. Lost ground there. And look at the way the Porsche scampers away. No, come on. The Toyota team are desperate to get in front. They've won 6 out of their 9 races here, and they are looking for their 6th consecutive victory in Spa-Francorchamps today. And here comes the Toyota. Buemi goes around the outside, gets by the traffic, but he's now stuck behind that pink Ferrari of the Iron Dames team. And look at the way the gaps have opened up. Battle for third place in LMP2 has changed. Lorenzo Colombo, the red and white Prema car, has got ahead of the chrome machine of Alessio Rivera, our pole sitter. Rivera made an ambitious start but lost ground early on. Will Owen, United Autosports, right behind. And where was the pass in traffic behind Christian Reed? They went either side. And somehow both survived. Big moment there for Christian Ried. Cars all over the place. Look at this absolutely epic multi-class racing. The majesty of Spa-Francorchamps in the Belgian Ardennes. Olivier Pla knew that this moment was coming. The inevitable has happened. Sébastien Buemi has been hunting him down, looking to make that move for several laps. Now finally at Les Combes, Toyota has the lead, and it is the Toyota that fared best as well at Sebring. So Mike Conway in number 7, still in third, must get by. He must stay with his teammates if he wants to retain his World Championship trouble. Oh, thought that was the Alpine. It's not. It's the real team by WRT Machine. Left rear puncture. He's picked up a little bit of debris maybe from some contact, and it has lacerated that tyre. Bottom of the shot, Mike Conway really closing in on Olivier Pla now. Through Blanchimont, the Ferrari's in the way. It's going to block his way, or is it? Is he going to hold up the Glickenhaus? It does, and Conway goes outside, inside. Fantastic bus stop move. Conway up to second place, but he's already 3 or 4 seconds behind his teammates, and the Glickenhaus is coming back at him. But this time the Glickenhaus is going to get held up by not 1 but 2 Ferraris. We'll take a look again. Conway around the outside to the inside at the bus stop. Block pass. LMP2 second place battle on the pits. At the top of the shot, WRT, Prema United, they're all in second, third and fourth. And this might be fuel only. They need to regain track position on each other.
Some rain possible, turn 11 to turn 16. Rain possible, turn 11 to turn 16.
Well, the weather forecaster said there might be some light showers during the course of the afternoon. Looks like they may be coming. Battle for 5th in LMP2. Francois Perrodo in the chrome car that started on pole. Manu Collard down the inside for Penske. Roger Penske, the 85-year-old team boss, is here as well. Right behind United, still in the frame with their 23 machine. The 22 car is in 4th place. Francois Perrodo in after 1 stint from Alessio Rivera. Has to really open the steering as he sees the yellow flash coming.
I struggle a bit with the pace to keep the pace of Gelail. But then, yeah, the race is still long. Now Francois, for sure, will try to keep the pace. And yeah, still 5 hours, so it's really long.
Second place battle refuses to die, does it? Sean Gelail for WRT down the inside. Lorenzo Colombo almost got the overlap he needed to get by the WRT car. But the number 9 Prema machine is right there still. 22 United Autosports has dropped away a little bit, but look at this classic stuff at La Source. But with the gravel right on the edge of the curve, there's no room for error. Standard pit stop now for the number 7 Toyota, but
The track has been declared wet. The track has been declared wet.
the significance of that is you can fit wet weather tyres if you need to. Number 7 Toyota from second place coming in a lap earlier than number 8. Number 8 won here last year on fuel economy over their teammates. That's not what the number 7 car wants. Look at the Prema car with a great run through Eau Rouge, straight around the outside. Just after the hour mark, first leader of GT is in. The Ferraris are in as well. Corvette takes the lead of the race. They're going longer on fuel. Oh, trouble, Miro Konopka. That is a big hit on the barriers. Looks like he's bounced off from the barriers on the left. He's in the middle of the track. And this could be a safety car. On board with the number 7 Toyota, there's Konopka. Drifts out wide on the exit of Pouhon. Hard hit in the barriers. That will have knocked the wind out of his sails, and it looks like Mike Conway collected some debris that got shot across the track. Well, the marshals will need to attend to Miro Konopka. The safety car is out. Look, the car is right in the middle of the track. And Bent Viscal is not going to get to make his WEC debut today. Well, disappointment for the team. Safety car is out, but we hear that Miro Konopka is all right.
Main thing, of course, he's okay. Of course, very disappointing result, but you know, again, he's okay, so that's the most important thing.
And for the team, this is obviously not what they want, but in terms of running this weekend, how has it been so far?
We've had very little running from the beginning. We had small technical issues, you know, on the brakes in the first 3 practices. We managed to fix that for qualifying, but we already had very little running, so hence the qualifying position was not where we belong. And yeah, of course, being out of the race in the first hour is very disappointing.
The race director has red flagged the race to rescue the car. And here comes the rain.
We knew the safety car was going to come at some point. The goal with me starting the race was just to get track position. I think we've accomplished that a bit earlier in the stint than what I was expecting. And now we got Roberto in the car to do his time. It's obviously we're under red flag, which it sucks a little bit for us in terms of strategy. But obviously safety first, so I hope everyone's okay with that crash. It is what it is, and we'll you know, go from here.
Ready to rejoin behind the safety car, but Sebastian Buemi needs to move. The number 8 Toyota, the race leader, is not moving. Mike Conway can't get by. He can't reverse either. The parking sensors are telling him the Glickenhaus is right on his back bumper. Sebastian Buemi has recycled the car and got it to start. Phew. I'm sure that is a big sigh of relief for the number 8 Toyota team. We are back underway behind the safety car.
I stop. Stop and power cycle. Stop and power cycle. Stop and power cycle.
You can see the lights flashing on and off as he tries to persuade the car to restart. Number 8 Toyota has lost the lead and more trouble. That's the 71 AM-Class Ferrari has had a spin and some damage. Look, the rear wing is not straight any longer, so they have gone off into the barriers. Frank de Soto in the Spirit of Race machine. That rear wing is definitely not as designed. Behind the safety car, the track is clearly looking dry, but not feeling dry. De Soto's done quite a lot of damage there, and he's going to need to go to the pits. Ooh, that's a mess. When we stopped again, stay away, he says.
Stop the car, and you need to exit the car now. No contact. Ignition off, main off, ignition off, main off, and you need to jump out of the car without connecting between the car and the ground. Okay? Confirm.
Well, number 8 team is out. Brendan Hartley knows it. And that is a catastrophic problem for Toyota. That will not rejoin. Pit stop for Corvette, and they are going wets. LMP2 and Hypercar, everybody coming in now. It looks like this is the opportunity with the safety car on the track for everybody to change onto suitable tyres for the wet weather conditions if they had not done so already. Fuel going in, and those are wet weather tyres, not monsoon. Wet weather tyres as well going on to the Ferraris. Now, Ferrari had hoped for rain to try and bring the Porsches back a little bit. This track has been a really happy hunting ground for Porsche in both GT classes, but Ferrari thought they had a good car in the wet.
I think it's a problem with the hybrid system. It's a pretty serious one. That's why nobody was allowed to touch it, and I had to jump out of the car. So yeah, obviously investigating it, and we will see what happens.
The capricious Spa weather has struck again. Heavy rain all around the circuit. The red flags are out once more, but this capacity crowd is going nowhere. They're expecting a lot more entertainment. They are sitting in their dry grandstand seats.
Rain lights on, heater on, and AC on. Yeah, heater, rain, and AC on. Yeah, all good.
Copy. There's even more water now than before.
Copy. More water than before, copy.
I'm sure Roberto Gonzalez won't be the only man reporting that. WRT's Robin Freins is the man who will see it first as we go green, because he is the race leader. There is the Alpine in second, leading in Hypercar from the number 7 Toyota, but it is WRT leading outright in LMP2. And if this race remains wet all the way through, the Hypercar speed advantage will be negated. We might have an overall LMP2 winner, but here comes the Glickenhaus battling side by side with the LMP2 United number 23 car, and you can see how hard it is to get by. Even their extra power is no help. Their extra grip really doesn't help them much on most of this absolutely streaming wet Spa-Francorchamps circuit. With Mike Conway, what you can't see in front, or can't see much of, is the Alpine of Andre Negrão. This is the battle for the Hypercar lead, but not for the race lead. This is for second overall. Negrão hanging on ahead of Conway. Don't forget, Sebring fell to Alpine. They are the points leaders right now, but here comes the Toyota, and Conway and his teammates need victory here to help them in the championship hunt to get ahead of their number 8 teammates. Dives to the inside at La Source. Can't deploy the hybrid power until the car's doing 190 kilometers an hour, even in the wet. And that means basically climbing the hill. But the Alpine does not have the grip into Eau Rouge. And look at the way that Conway just strides away. Our race leader, Robin Freins for WRT, the local team. If you throw a stone from their workshop, pretty much lands on this Spa circuit. That's how close they are. You can hear the cars running. This is a home race for them. And yellow flags, the D station Aston Martin facing the wrong way at the bus stop. And here comes the 33 four-horseman car that started on the class pole. Oh, contact with the Iron Dames Ferrari, turns around the Aston Martin. Battle for third place in LMP2. Alex Lynn in United Autosports number 23, Felipe Albuquerque in number 22, and that is a change of position. Lynn has just gone by Albuquerque. These two cars battling for supremacy among themselves. And here's the pass around the outside to the bus stop. Probably as much grip off the racing line as on it. Sebastian Ogier, the rally ace, in 6th position, trying to hunt down Esteban Gutierrez. And right behind, after that puncture, here comes the resurgent Norman Nato for Real Team by WRT. Goes by Ed Jones in the Jota car, and it looks as though Francois Perrodo is trying to have a stab as well. So that's a change for 8th place. And after that early puncture, Real Team working their way back up the order. Look at this. You can barely see anything at speed. This track throws up so much water. I'm sure Ed Jones in the Jota car had no idea how close Norman Nato was. You can't see much out the front. You can see even less out the back. Battle for 5th place, number 9, the Prema car, Robert Kubica, struggling here in the wet conditions. Right behind, here comes Alex Lynn, right alongside, here comes Alex Lynn, into the braking area, here comes Alex Lynn, and through he goes. 5th place overall, 2nd place in LMP2 for United Autosports. It is absolutely soaking out there, and there's a full course yellow. There's Jim Glickenhaus, racing at the Nürburgring and at Spa this weekend with his team. Look how wet it is. Massive aquaplaning. The track is flooded. There's a car in the gravel trap there as well. Full course yellow to bring speeds down for recovery of Mathieu Lahaye in the Ultimate car. That's the car that was in the gravel. Race leader in the pits, Robin Freins for WRT. Well, he's definitely not gambling on slicks. 3 hours in, 3 hours to go. And a driver change as well. Andre Negrão is out. He's been in that car for 3 hours. Not all of it moving, I grant you. Still a long while. Nico Lapierre takes over. Out of the pit lane comes the Glickenhaus. Half the race done, half still to go. And after the mid-race pit stops, Toyota cycle themselves back to the top, not just of Hypercar, but of the race itself, ahead of United Autosports and WRT. Glickenhaus and Alpine still in the hunt overall and for the Hypercar win. And everything is jumbled up in the LMP2 category. In fact, it's not just them. The red flags, the full course yellows, have made everything a little bit skewed. AF Corsa, the 52 car, with a lap lead over the rest of GTE Pro, just because of how the red flags have fallen. Team Project One's Porsche, the 46 car, currently the leader in GTE Am, but anybody could take that one. ARC Bratislava, the number 8 Toyota, the 2 cars that are out. All Porsche battle through Redion. Look at the wriggles there from Matteo Cairoli on your right-hand side. And that is the GTE Am leader going by Jimmy Bruni. Jimmy Bruni in the 91 Porsche from the start of the race is still in it. Richard Leach joked to us actually that Jimmy Bruni was not going to get out until he was back in P1 where the car qualified. But right now, that car is going backwards in a hurry. Trouble in LMP2, that's Alex Brundle, has only just come out of the pits a couple of minutes ago. First time out on this track in the car in the rain, and he is off the exit of turn 9. It's been rebuilt with a different part of track added for the motorcycles, and Brundle can't believe his luck. Didn't get to race in Sebring, barely got a lap in here. Safety car is out, and here's why. The weather is just appalling. Second in GTE Am. The Ferrari slowing to a near halt in Eau Rouge, and Antonio Felix da Costa with nowhere to go but the grass. Can't avoid contact. It is not safe to race on. Oh dear, Mike Conway. That's not what the team wants. That's not what he wants either. Well, there is poor Alex Brundle. Inter Europol have had a bit of a tough weekend. Replay here of Francesco Castellacci spinning away the lead in GTE Am, taking too much of the wet curb. And here is the Vector Sport car, their second race in the series, just avoiding the gravel traps. Vehicles are out to sort out the barriers. Christoph Ulrich, third in GTE Am. Does he hit the barriers? Oh, he gets away with that, but it shows how treacherous it is. That's why the red flags are out. So third red flag. What do the drivers think?
We got caught out by the red so badly. It's like we were coming into pit. The pits closed when we were at the last chicane and we couldn't pit, and then we had to stop because we couldn't do another lap even on the safety car. So it was either stop under red for emergency service or stop out on track because we're out of fuel. But then we lose a whole lap plus all the track position. So I mean, we were lucky to jump ahead of the GT leader, the 52, during that run. If we get the wave by now, then we'll be back on the back of the pack on the lead lap. So still race on, I guess.
Actually, my team said, okay, yeah, we are P1 in the category, but we are P5. I say P5. Yeah, who's in front? And they say, there's LMP2. Okay, yeah. But for our car, it's really difficult because the traction control that we have is not so good in this condition, especially. So yeah, we have to be calm in this moment and just finish the race.
Well, there are words to think about for everybody. Just be calm and try and finish the race. The track is looking a lot less wet, let's say. Let's not say dry as we get away behind the safety car, but all around us there are breaks in the clouds. There is blue sky. WRT lead the field away. Vincent Vos there with the rest of the all-Belgian crew. Number 7 Toyota in second, Glickenhaus in third. And look at this. GTE, Am and Pro cars all together. What a battle is going on here. Pick the bones out of this. I think for everybody in all these cars, visibility is absolutely at a premium. Grip also. Just keep your head down. Don't worry about who's around you. Just make sure you don't hit them or the scenery. This is a race now to survive. Ferrari 1-2. The rain has really helped them. The 91 Porsche, Jimmy Bruni, still right at the tail of the pack. Still in 5th place in GTE Pro, but a long way behind. Battle for 4th place, Robert Kubica and Nico Muller for Vector Sport. He had a narrow escape earlier on in the car when he ran through the gravel and avoided hitting anything. Kubica still not entirely up to pace maybe. in the Prema car, but 4th place in LMP2. Nothing to be sneezed at. Well, the fans haven't gone anywhere despite the weather. They're probably really resigned to the fact that if you come to Spa, you expect 4 seasons in one day, and they generally tend to be well prepared for it, as do the marshals. Look at them wrapped up against the rain. The real team were as high as 4th place in LMP2. Now back up to 6th position as their up and down race continues. Squeezing by the pole sitters. Sébastien Ogier out of the Richard Mille Racing Team car number 1. Lilou Wadou is in there. And meanwhile, here comes the 92 Porsche chasing down the 2nd place car, 51 Ferrari from AF Corsa, 2-hour mark. So 2 full stints to go pretty much for these GT cars. If the race dries out, we may get as much action as we did in the first 90 minutes. There is James Collado, the world champion. His teammate in the 51 car, Alessandro Pierguidi, fighting a good rearguard action, using the GTE AM Inception Racing Porsche as a bit of a blocker against the 92 car. Michael Christensen will have to try again elsewhere. Here comes the change for the lead. The Toyota up the top of the Kemmel Straight into Les Combes, goes by the 31 WRT LMP2 car. Still leading in Hypercar, the Toyota, but now the outright race leader. LMP2 still in the hands of WRT. But oh boy, can you imagine the jubilation if they were able to win outright at Spa against the Hypercars? They would just be on cloud 9. There is the Glickenhaus team watching from the pits. Here comes 708, looking to move up to 2nd place. Sweeps around the outside of the LMP2 car, and now it's starting to dry a little. The Hypercars can use their power and grip to their advantage. But again, look at the WRT car clinging to the skirt tails. United Autosports and Alpine, the battle for 4th place overall. The Alpine coming back, as we heard earlier, not at its best in these mixed conditions. The more it dries out, the better they will like it. They're trying to survive now and pick their way through the order. Nico Lapierre in a brighter blue Alpine, hugely experienced, chasing down Alex Lynn. Alex knows that he's going to have to probably let that car go, but he doesn't want to lose much ground because, look, right behind is the 2nd United car, and that's actually a much more important rival for Alex Lynn. Up to 4th place, still 3rd in Hypercar goes the Alpine. And there are some supporters for Francois Perraudot in his crew, the AF Corsa LMP2 car, and there goes the Alpine up into 3rd place overall, goes by the WRT car. So Robin Freins started behind the safety car this portion of the race as the race leader. He still leads in LMP2, but he's down to 4th place overall. Real team again on the comeback. Here is Norman Nato, 6th place in LMP2, right in front Nick Nielsen, the AF Corsa car. Nato, good switcheroo, sends Nielsen to the outside to defend, cuts back on the inside. Excellent stuff. LMP2 leader in the pits. Does the door open? No, it does not open. No driver change here. And that means Robin Freins stays in. They peel off another layer of plastic from the windscreen to give him better visibility. Replay of Antonio Felix da Costa in the first of the green and black Jota cars, going by Felipe Nasser in the yellow and blue Penske. Around the other side goes Oliver Rasmussen. He's already got by the AF Corsa car. Does he have enough traction to get past the Penske as well? Look at this at Les Combes. Not quite enough, and you don't venture onto those curbs. Here is Rasmussen again with Nasser. And the Brazilian working hard here. Antonio Felix da Costa has gone ahead. There he is, the 38 car in 6th place in LMP2. This is the battle for 7th and now for 8th as Rasmussen comes under attack. There's Wingfoot, the Goodyear airship, getting a great view of this battle. Nick Nielsen attacking the 28 Jota car of Oliver Rasmussen. Rasmussen with a great run through Eau Rouge. Wasn't the best run for Felipe Nasser in the Penske run car, and he drops back down. And here comes the chrome as well. Nick Nielsen looking to get by the Brazilian in the yellow and blue Penske machine. does not squeeze through. So Felipe Nasr, Nick Nielsen now battling for 8th place in P2. Teammates Perodo and Rivera closest to us, enjoying that. Number 9, Prema Car in 5th position. Still Robert Kubica, but look at Antonio Felix da Costa. Da Costa at the start of the race left everybody else in LMP2 behind like he was in a hypercar. Nobody could convince him he wasn't. And right now, the LMP2 cars in these mixed conditions are lapping as quick as the hypercars. Certainly the fast ones like Antonio Felix da Costa, who leaves Robert Kubica behind him as they go by the cars. There's Sebastian Bourdais in the gravel in the Vector Sport, car number 10. And I don't think he's going to be able to reach that hard standing. I fear this might be another lift and another safety car. Full course yellow to start, which means everybody is on their pit lane speed limiters at 80 kilometers an hour. Slicks. This is a bold call, or is it? Is it this being forced on the Ferrari? Into the pits comes the race leader behind the full course yellow. Top 3 are in from Hypercar. They are all stopping together. Lots of LMP2 stops as well. 80 minutes to go. They can't go all the way on fuel. This will be the penultimate stop. Out gets Nico Lapierre, and into the Alpine gets Mathieu Vaxivière. There is the Glickenhaus. Are they going slicks or inters? They're going slicks. Well, they do have the option of an intermediate, but they are going for slick tyres. I think Alpine went intermediate. Trouble for United, they can't get the door open. Alex Lynn has to stay in. Ollie Jarvis is waved away.
Full course yellow removed, the track is back to green.
Alex Lynn, fortunately coming out from the pits just ahead of Ferdy Habsburg, still in 3rd. The United driver was due to get out. He actually had to come out of the pits, tightening his seatbelts up again. He'd loosened them, ready for the driver change. Hopefully he is safely secured in the car, but United are going to have to work on that door. Oh, there's Kevin Escher. What a race for him. It all went wrong in the first couple of 100 meters for the 92 Porsche, taking out the 91 car, and now his teammate is trying for redemption. Ferrari won too, but here is Michael Christensen all over the back of the 51 Ferrari of James Calado. Calado taking over from Alessandro Pierguidi. And look at this. Look how little grip there is, skating around, almost on ice. Back into the pits, Glickenhaus. It was a mistaken pit radio message. Pipo Derani thought they were asking, did he want cut slicks to go on the car as he handed it over? Oh, trouble, Prema in the barriers. And that is Louis Delatraz. He's only just taken over from Robert Kubica, and he's been caught out by the slippery conditions. That's going to take some repairs. Look here again, it's turn 9. There are rivers of water everywhere. They're exactly the same place Alex Brundle went off, and lots of others. Clatters the barriers. Of course, all pre-race driving was in the dry, so lots of these drivers have no experience of a wet spa this year. This is Simon Mann. What happens here? Oh, just spins it up off the curbs and into the gravel at Les Combes. And again, he's going to need rescuing. That car is not coming out on its own. That's why we've got full course yellows. Look at the damage there. Well, that'll be a quick swap. Take the junk off and put a brand new nose on. Full course yellow, though, for rescues, and we're down nearly to the last hour of the race. And compare and contrast the clean bodywork on the front and the rallycross bodywork all the way back behind it. That car's had a few moments, hasn't it? Problems for the number 83 car are Pro-Am LMP2 leaders, a 3-minute stop and hold for safety car protocol infringements, but they should hold the Pro-Am class lead despite this. Final roll of the dice, perhaps, for United Autosports. They're having a herringbone part because they're coming in together. 1 hour and 1 minute to go. Will it remain green all the way? Well, not necessarily guaranteed. They're having to go in through the passenger door. Ollie Jarvis there and Alex Lynn. Not exactly jockey-sized drivers, but drivers do have to rehearse this. You've got to be able to get out the wrong side of the car in an emergency. He's just having to do it in a pit stop. This is going to be a long stop, and the driver helper has to go in from the wrong side to try and do his belts up as well.
Luckily, we have to do a jump out test anyway in the car, so I knew how to get out on the passenger side. Yeah, I guess it was. We went back out on slick, and I had good pace because I'd obviously been in the car for like ages. So, but yeah, it's a shame we lost a lot of spaces, and Ollie's rapid. So let's see what we can do for the last hour.
Final throw of the dice perhaps now for Porsche and Ferrari. Ferrari 1-2, James Collado leading, but here comes Michael Christensen in the 92 car. He is all over the back of the 52 Ferrari. Antonio Fuoco squirreling over the curbs. Look how wet the track is in places, and that makes it really hard to pass slower traffic like the 88 AM class Porsche in front, or to try and make an overtaking manoeuvre, and it's tough to keep it on the road. Simon Mann, the 21 Ferrari, off again. And that is out of turn 9. It's still very wet on this new surface here. Brand new part of the track for the motorcycles on the left. The Toyota is the race leader, holding up the second place car in LMP2. Phil Hansen, the 22 United car, with Ferdinand Habsburg going a long way round the outside, but almost a touch. Maybe there was a touch. Ferdy then on the damp, losing ground in the real team car. This is the battle for second in LMP2, and the Toyota is on intermediates, which are beyond their best, holding up the LMP2 cars. Battle for second place in GTE Pro. Antonio Fuoco using a lot of curb to stay ahead of Michael Christensen into approximately the final half hour of the race. And again, look at the Toyota. Ferdy Habsburg goes by Phil Hansen. They're getting held up. The Toyota's almost holding up the GTE AM cars. LMP2 don't have intermediates, it's just slicks or wets, but the Toyota stuck on inters until it can make its last fuel stop. Oh, and here comes Habsburg. The Toyota struggling off the corner with tyres that are totally overheating. Can't get by the GTE AM car. Now he does, lunges through, but it's going to be heart in the mouth. Here comes Ferdy Habsburg. Goes by the GTE AM leader. That is Harry Tinknell, and Toyota wondering how this is going to end up. Oh, and Hansen gets his no back in front. And by the way, behind, GTE AM 1, 2, 3, Porsche and 2 Aston Martins. That battle is coming to a conclusion in the final 35 minutes. Well, look at the Toyota here, going by the real team car, then dive bombing the Porsche. A little bit of wet weather. Actually, that'll help cool his tyres. Battle for second in GTE rages on. The 92 Porsche, this time with a good drive. It's reasonably dry here. Oh, a little touch there from Antonio Fuoco. He's fighting a really tough rearguard action, trying to hold off the Porsche. Ferrari 1-1-2. Squeezes by. This is ballsy stuff from both drivers. Oh, trouble for Phil Hansen again, caught out behind the Toyota, a half spin at the bus stop, and through has gone the real team car, Ferdy Habsburg. Look at this, doesn't quite hit the Toyota, but the Toyota does not stop well. Alpine rolling the dice once more, and they are on slicks. Oh, it's not a fast stop though. Glickenhaus also on intermediate tyres. They went on slicks mistakenly, lost ground, and intermediates are not the tyre they want. And look at this! The Penske car came around the United car on the way into the bus stop. I thought the Glickenhaus was going to stop there, but they need to stop soon. Toyota in the pit lane. They will change to slick tyres. You watch it rain again now in the final 30 minutes. This is what Spa does, and here's the Penske United battle. Number 5, number 22, this is for 7th place overall. Oh, huge kudos to both drivers when you get them going door handle to door handle into Eau Rouge. That's nobody's idea of easy work. Look at the United team in the inset. Felipe Albuquerque, oh come on, get your wretched hypercar out of our way. They're just wiping the floor with a much more powerful, more high downforce car because the Glickenhaus just can't control itself in these conditions. Look at the Porsche still trying to find its way around the Ferrari. And the clock continues to tick. It's going to be a long final 27 minutes for Antonio Fuoco, under real pressure from Michael Christensen. Fuoco dives inside the AM class car, runs out wide though, he had to go in shallow. Christensen got his nose in front. Is this the change that makes the difference?
Now with the dry condition, the Porsche is very quick. At the end we didn't expect it to be there. It's still 20 minutes to go and it will be very long. We know the difference in terms of pace of the Porsche. So we try our best. We knew that just a strange race can help us. At the end we are in the lead, 25 minutes to go. We will be very difficult, but we'll be there. For sure in a dry condition we won't be there. So.
Crazy race at Spa, who would ever have thought it? Well, this is a car that led overall for probably somewhere between a third and half of the race, the 31 WRT car, but René Rast putting it off the island there. That's not a marina, by the way, this isn't Miami. Here is the battle for the lead in GTE AM. Nicky Thiem with the yellow rear end, chasing Marco Sorensen, chasing Harry Tincknell, who's taken over that Dempsey Proton car from Sebastian Priaulx. Started by the team boss, Christian Ried, in his 74th race of 74 in the FIA World Endurance Championship. Are they going to take victory here? It would be a first in World Endurance Championship for Sebastian Priaulx. Michael Christensen inside the final 10 minutes, desperately trying to put in a move on the race leader in GTE Pro, James Collado. Well, still not really much love lost between the Porsche and Ferrari teams after last year's Bahrain season finale. And Harry Tincknell being caught now by the Astons. Tincknell on a soft tyre, a tyre they've not used before, and he is trying to break away from Marco Sorensen. More battles. This is for 6th overall, for 4th in LMP2. Phil Hansen for United sends it up the inside. Big wobble for Felipe Nasser in the yellow and blue Penske car, but he does keep it between the white lines. Hansen has to give the place back. He will need to try again. Inside 7.5 minutes of the race remaining, and is still very wet offline. The slicks will not like being put onto the wet to try and pass people. Here again comes Christensen. Yes, jiggly leg syndrome in both garages, in most garages here, I think. Everybody wants to survive this one. Christensen ramps it over the inside, fully inside the white lines there, Aurelion. That is exceeding track limits. He can't continue to do that. Heart in the mouth for WRT. René Rast couldn't avoid the spinning ultimate car, but it looks like he's got away with it. Checkered flag is out after the craziest Spa race in years, and Toyota take their 6th consecutive win. Their only remaining car number 7, claims victory in Hypercar. And Alpine, who won in Sebring, will take 2nd. But that's a vital win for the champions, Mike Conway, Kamui Kobayashi, and Jose Maria Lopez. And Lopez drove phenomenally at the end of the race.
These guys did an amazing job. The team also, they work very hard. I'm really sorry for car 8 or sister car, but yeah, we keep pushing. We are back in business, and it was good to jump in the car and feel again, with a good confidence. So thank you very much, everyone, and it was fantastic to have the people back in here at Spa.
Thank you, well done.
They put on a great show, didn't they? Great show too from WRT. No overall win, but they're on the overall podium as victors in LMP2. Sean Gallel, Robin Freins and René Rast. In the chase to the line, Michael Christensen comes up short by just a handful of meters. Victory for Ferrari. Unbelievable. Alessandro Pierguidi and James Collado, who went long on fuel and gambled, and they managed to cling on to the lead and the win.
Really tough, and I knew the 92 was a bit quicker. I was struggling with the tyres. We chose a soft compound and risked everything.
But yeah, what a race. I mean, it was really fair, I have to say, to them, and you know, close racing, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it. Finally, we went over the line together with a split second. Wasn't expected, but honestly, Ale did an amazing job. He was in the car 4.5 hours, yeah, fair play to him.
A fantastic GTE AM victory for Dempsey Proton. Christian Reed, supported by Sebastian Priaulx and Harry Tinknell, with the Astons in close company, second and third. The world champions are winners once more. Alessandro Pierguidi and James Collado claim victory in a crazy race at Spa. With Porsche between the two Ferraris, who looked down and out after qualifying. No wonder AF Corsa looked quite so happy. And for the crew of the number 7 Toyota, especially Jose Maria Lopez, who crashed out in Sebring, they are back in business after a phenomenal race. And that sets us up perfectly for the next round of the championship, the one everybody wants to win, the 24 Hours of Le Mans. The battle lines are drawn. Toyota win in Hypercar, WRT taking victory at home and second with their real teammates. AF Corsa by inches beating Porsche in GTE Pro. Pro-Am victory in LMP2 going to AF Corsa, and Dempsey Proton again just a few metres ahead of the two Astons to win GTE Am. Just 5 cars failed to make it to the finish of one of the craziest races at Spa in decades. Le Mans will have to go a long way to beat it for drama.